Pat on 12 News, treating your home like a hotel?
I mean, just this morning we got like 3 requests, I have to turn down for $1,500 each.
A Brooklyn Park man wouldn't mind, and he hopes the city will eventually feel the same way. Plus, assistance dogs that help in more ways than one.
It was the best thing that could happen.
But first, it may be half a world away, but the impact from Saturday's earthquake in Nepal is being felt right here in the Northwest Metro. 12 News starts right now. Hello, and thanks for joining us. Aftershocks from Saturday's powerful quake in Nepal are still being felt.
Nepal is an impoverished mountain country sandwiched between China and India. It's best known for Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. Saturday's magnitude 7.8 quake has claimed more than 4,000 lives so far. Sonia Goins talked to a Maple Grove woman who is worried about family members in her native land.
When I get a call at 2:30 from a friend who usually doesn't call at that time of the night.
Ektapara Julie is from Kathmandu, Nepal, and has lived in Maple Grove for the last 8 years.
And he says there's a big earthquake back home and it's 7.9 Richter scale, and I couldn't believe it.
She's been glued to the TV ever since the news broke.
Shock and disbelief was out of words. I couldn't believe it at all.
The place she calls home will never be the same.
We lost most of our temples and all of the, there was a tall tower, the tallest tower of Nepal, that was broken down completely. The place where I lived, I grew up, I played, I walked around there, that's not going to be there.
Ekta also worries about her family members who are still in Nepal.
And my cousins and my brother and my sister.
Her family is safe, but not out of the woods.
Ekta
Skyped with her father-in-law.
Yeah, they're sleeping outside in the garage. There was another tremor right now. 6.7. That was a big one again.
She says she feels so helpless being so far away from home.
It's been a big devastation back home, and we just wish and hope we can rebuild the lost community.
Now, more than 7,000 people were hurt in the earthquake, and at least 200 climbers were stranded on Mount Everest. Members of the Nepalese in Minnesota are raising money for the victims. Mike and Alex, a prayer service will be held at the Hindu temple in Maple Grove on Thursday at 7 o'clock. We have all that information on our website.
All right. Thank you, Sonia.
Thanks, Sonia.
A Champlin Park honors student was driving home from a haircut when life changed in an instant. Jason McCarthy was killed in a crash last summer caused by a drunken driver. He was rear-ended while waiting to turn left onto 73rd Avenue North from Highway 252. At an emotional court hearing, a judge sentenced Michael Van Wagner to a 9-year prison sentence. That's an upward departure from state sentencing guidelines. Van Wagner's blood alcohol level was .29, more than triple the legal limit. Van Wagner actually struck another car twice just moments before smashing into McCarthy's car at 60 miles an hour.
A Brooklyn Park family is thanking neighbors for helping to save their house from a fire. It happened on Sunday night at the home near 63rd and Yukon. The homeowners were grocery shopping at the time. They credit neighbors for their quick action.
The neighbor boy, Gabe Hostetler, and his dad and his older brother saw the smoke, got the garden hose out, started hosing things down, called 911, got in, got our dog and cat out of the house. So really they should be praised for what they did, because it would have probably been a lot worse.
3 rooms and the attic were heavily damaged. Firefighters say the fire started on the outside of the house, but investigators are still looking into how it started. A Brooklyn Park man hopes he can use his home like a hotel.
It would be helpful for people who want to avoid expensive hotel fares for short vacation stays. But as Delane Cleveland reports right now, you can't rent homes for short stays in Brooklyn Park.
Near the edge of Brooklyn Park in Champlin sits the spacious home of Nick McCullough, with 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a backyard with features a family would love.
Everything that they would need.
About 70 nights last year, Nick and his wife turned their home into a vacation rental, advertising it on the website Airbnb for anywhere between $400 to $600 a night.
Never had a thing lost, broken, or stolen. Met some really cool people. And frankly, paid our mortgage last year for doing nothing.
However, the city of Brooklyn Park has another thought on the matter. They say that the family is essentially using their home as a hotel. Only problem is that this neighborhood isn't zoned for that. City officials say complaints from neighbors brought it to their attention.
The concerns were around parking, strangers in the neighborhood, just, you know, the noise that comes with having there's basically strangers in your house at different times.
You know, we've got some neighbors that maybe aren't really candidates for living in a neighborhood where people live next to them.
As a result, Nick says he hasn't been able to rent out the home since August.
I mean, just this morning we got like 3 requests, and I have to turn down for $1,500 each.
Now he's hoping the city will make changes to allow vacation rentals in Brooklyn Park.
That could be something that as soon as we're told to take a look at, we'll start to research the topic and find out what we can.
We made $25,000.
For Nick, he's hoping that he can start renting his home out to travelers again sooner rather than later.
We're really using the resources here, bringing in nice, fun families that are going to spend a lot of money in Brooklyn Park.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
When reached by phone, Mayor Jeff Lundy did say he's working to launch a vacation rental pilot program in Brooklyn Park.
A group of Cooper High School students is leading efforts to keep fellow classmates safe during prom and graduation season. They are leading a campaign called Everyone Deserves a Day After Today. Several students stuffed lockers with flyers asking their peers to sign a pledge to celebrate without drugs or alcohol.
And at Cooper, we're just kind of a big family. And then when the family comes together and helps each other out in signing the pledge, or when their friend is telling them not to do this, it's going to be that one decision that helps save a life.
Partnership for Change, an organization that is working to reduce drug and alcohol use in the Northwest Metro, developed the campaign. Coming up, an assistance dog program helping recipients and trainers, too.
Then later, local track and field athletes come through with strong performances at the Hamline Elite Meet. We'll have the highlights in sports.
But first, a pretty remarkable weather week. Tuesday, there's a slight chance for afternoon showers. National Guard soldiers based in Brooklyn Park are among those called in to help solve the state's bird flu crisis.
10 years ago, members of the same Red Bull division were serving in Kuwait and Iraq. Well, this week, 33 members of the group are in Wilmer with 15 huge water trucks like these. The water is needed for foaming systems used to euthanize poultry to control the spread of the avian flu virus.
We've got the guys that drive the trucks, and then we've got the guys that know how to operate the water equipment that we have on the back of those trucks. Typically, we're used to flood fight. That's a normal occurrence for us, but yeah, this is a first for us in this company to support this type of mission.
Poultry is big business in Minnesota, but the virus has spread to about 50 farms, killing nearly 3 million turkeys and chickens. For 10 years, Do Canines in New Hope has used prison inmates to help train their assistance dogs.
But never before has an inmate been able to see his or her dog through the process. That is, until this weekend. Here's Cassie Bonstrom.
Presenting Mobility Assist and Seizure Assist Dog Journey is Keith Ward.
As Journey took the stage for his graduation, it honored new beginnings, not just for the Black Lab and his new owner, but also for trainer Keith Ward.
Oh, it's very rewarding. Seeing all the work I put in, and now he's got a client. Very rewarding.
Ward was a prisoner at the Faribault Correctional Facility when he met Journey and became one of his trainers.
Just day-to-day functions, retrieving stuff, turning on and off light switches, opening doors, closing them. Touch. Good boy.
Keith was put in charge of changing Journey's life.
He never left my side, so everything I did, he did.
But it ended up changing his, too.
Because that's kind of when you're down and out, and you got somebody that's always going to be there.
This is a chance for them to do something really positive while they're incarcerated.
Please welcome graduate Rick Sheehan.
This weekend, Keith got to see his work come full circle when he presented Journey to his new client, Rich Sheehan.
How did that feel?
Special.
special, yeah.
Rich has speech and mobility issues after a roof accident in 2010.
It's changed everything.
Journey will help him with day-to-day tasks and is trained to lick his hands and face to comfort him after a seizure.
He knows that if something happens, that Journey is going to be there, right there for him. And, you know, he can be sitting in a chair and just make the slightest move, and Journey is at attention, you know, right there for him.
Rich now has a loyal companion, an extra guardian angel looking over him as he rebuilds his life.
All the people you don't even think about that donate their time and everything that goes into this for these dogs, for the people that need them so bad, I can just say thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
The puppy prison program has proven successful on many levels. Prison officials say besides seeing inmates learn new skills and gain confidence, there are fewer instances of violent behavior. Coming up, an area comic book store gains a new fan base.
But first in sports, highlights from a top-flight prep golf tournament in Brooklyn Park. John Jacobson is in next.
After years of climbing the ladder, local boxer Caleb Truax, a middleweight contender, got a shot at one of the many titles in his weight class.
Victories by way of knockout from Osseo, Minnesota. Introducing the challenger, Caleb Truax. Get up a little bit.
Caleb's opponent was champion Daniel Jacobs of New York, who piles up the points in the early rounds as Truax struggles to get any offense. In the 10th round, though, Truax lands two bombs, a right uppercut followed by a straight right hand. He tries to turn the tide in his favor, but it doesn't really faze Jacobs. And in the 12th and final round, Jacobs lands a hard right hand that sends Truax against the ropes. It's ruled a knockdown as the ropes held him up. And moments later, Jacobs will finish the job, handing Truax his second career loss with a 12th round TKO. In golf, 24 high school boys teams got into the swing of tournament golf Friday and Saturday at the annual Tri-State Invitational at Edinburgh, USA in Brooklyn Park. Highlights from Saturday's second round. Matt Wall of Hopkins here. Wall shot rounds of 79 and 81 to finish second on his team to Luke Nelson. Wayzetta's team was tied for fourth place after day one. This is Alex Beversdorf with a long birdie try on the second hole. And he would miss that putt, but makes the next one for par. Beversdorf shooting 156 for the tournament. Wayzetta's top score turned in by sophomore Van Holmgren. Holmgren shot rounds of 73 and 82. It's 155 is his total. The par 5 fourth hole. Nice chip by Wayzetta's Bobby Frassini here, landing his chip about 4 feet from the cup. And then he'll drop the putt for a birdie. Frazzini finished third on the Trojans with a total of 158. His brother Ben shot the team's low round on Saturday with a 74. Edina wins the Tri-State with a score of 601, 14 shots ahead of runner-up White Bear Lake. Lakeville South is third, with Wayzetta finishing in fourth place. Blake rounds out the top 5. The Hamline Elite Meet brings together many of the best high school track and field standouts together for one night. Rain greeting the runners and jumpers for the 10th annual meet at Hamline. Boys 4x800 relay, close early, but Hopkins takes the lead halfway through the race. And anchor Jack Hemschel gets the Royals the victory, winning time 8 minutes, 6.73 seconds. Boys 4x200 relay. Harrison Jones of Champlin Park, Ethan Tuck of Wayzetta trying to catch North St. Paul's Akeem Sirleaf, who wins. And then we go to Joe Klecker of Hopkins in the 1600. He wins, sets a new meet record with a time of 4 minutes, 13.89 seconds. Boys long jump, Champlin Park's Jonathan Johnson ties for third place. His best jump, 21 feet, 3.5 inches. Girls 800 meters, Wayzetta junior Ruby Stauber is way ahead of the field. This is Stauber's first season running the 800, but she makes it look easy here with a winning time of 2 minutes, 26.01 seconds.
My high school coaches always wanted me to do it. So I just started it and had some success and liked it, so I just had to stick with it.
I didn't think the weather would be quite as bad as it was today, so I had a big time goal. And I knew Justin would be there every step of the way, so it'd be kind of fun. But yeah, the plan was to take it out hot and then try and finish even hotter, I guess. But didn't quite go as planned, but I'm pretty happy with it.
In softball, Maple Grove was at home to take on Hopkins. Bottom of the first inning, Maddie Gordon bunched toward third. Ball thrown to first, but no one's covering. Sammy Sadler and Taylor Rosacker score on the play. And Maple Grove jumps out to a quick 2-0 lead. Third inning, Hannah Lund will smack this one to the gap in left center. Sarah Michaels scores in the play, and the Crimson lead 3-0 through 3. Pitcher Sydney Smith gets into a groove for Maple Grove, striking out 5 out of 6 in one stretch, getting Brenna Falk swinging there. Top of the 6th inning, the Royals break out the shutout. Cassie Hurtis, with a ground ball up the middle, scores a run, and Hopkins is within 3-1. Hopkins trying to continue the rally in the 7th, but Smith gets some help from right fielder Gordon. Check out this catch here. It makes terrific grab and helps preserve a 3-1 win for Maple Grove. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back.
This weekend is a biggie for comic fans.
That's right. Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, and a New Hope store is gearing up. In Business Matters, a look at this comic book spot that's thrived in the local comic shop universe for 2 decades. In a world of superheroes,
our bestseller is Batman.
there's no contest who wins at Hot Comics and Collectibles in New Hope.
He's the ideal superhero. You know, he's a guy who has trained himself to be to the, the peak of human, intellect and physicality.
For more than 20 years, this comic book hotspot has been feeding imaginations with thrilling adventures and dangerous duels.
The hardest part of the job is keeping any of my paycheck and not just turning it back into the store.
34-year-old Joe Courtney works as the store's warehouse manager.
And my personal favorite was The Punisher.
He has a collection of 10,000 comic books at home.
I am in my mid-30s and male. I'm the core demographic.
Joe may mirror the store's core customer base, but here, comic book sales are growing, thanks in part to a different face. Whether your favorite is Superman or Spider-Man, comic books have always drawn a male-dominated crowd, but that is starting to change with more women and kids coming onto the scene.
Companies have gotten much better at marketing and publishing books for all audiences.
New genres such as the popular science fiction series Saga, as well as comic-themed movies and television releases, have helped draw a new crowd eager to explore an alternate universe.
I think it's great escapism. I think, a comic book, typically you can read one in 10 minutes.
This is our oldest comic we have in stock right now. This is an Action Comics, number 33. Got published roughly in 1940.
While classics can go for hundreds or thousands of dollars, most books here are between $3 and $4. It's a cheap escape, and now one with growing appeal.
There really is something for everyone.
And major comic publishers print limited issues for Saturday's Free Comic Book Day. It is the biggest day of the year at the New Hope store.
I don't see your cape, though.
That's at my desk. That's at my desk. My first appearance.
Superhero Alex.
That's right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.